like to call this meeting to order. Regular board meeting, May 15th, 2023. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, you can. Mr. Sterling?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. McKnight?
Present.
Mrs. Carlson? Here. Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Hastings?
Here.
Mrs. Meeks? Here.
Chris Arduino, recording secretary.
Terrell Yarborough, superintendent.
Michelle Erb, curriculum and instruction.
Josh Rand, business and operations.
We do not have Shelley Wade. All right. Can I get everybody to stand? Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Thomas Novak. He's a teacher in the Harlem district that recently passed yesterday. So, just a moment. Thank you.
All right, ready?
Yep.
So this evening we have Windsor Elementary joining us, but before we let them get started and introduce themselves and do the pledge, I'm going to give time for families to get in here as well. So we'll start with them.
Great.
Go back this way.
Yep.
Keep going.
You guys can keep
Go all the way
coming.
around, yep.
Somewhere in between.
You're fine. Yep.
Okay, good job. My name is Lorenzo. I'm in first grade. Good job. My name is Aiden and I'm in second grade. My name is Sophia. I'm in first grade. My name is Aria and I'm in third grade. My name is Kai and I'm in third grade. My name is Juliana and I'm in fourth grade.
My name is Michaela and I'm in fourth grade.
My name is Tyler and I'm in fifth grade.
My name is Andrew and I'm in fifth grade.
My name is Jeremiah and I'm in fifth grade.
My name is Lily and I'm in sixth grade.
My name is Alyssa and I'm in sixth grade.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you guys want to do a picture or can you do that?
Yes.
So if I could have the board members, maybe we'll just make it easy and have you seven come around this way and I'll give this side and take a photo if that's okay. We got a good sized group here. Yeah, I'm gonna have the board members come behind. I'm gonna take a picture of you. Nice job, Windsor.
I gotta say, you guys up here just so tall than I am.
Yeah, you should probably go down there.
I will get on there.
Hey Jude, look here, go over there and smile.
All right,
stand,
1,
hurry.
2, 3.
Good job.
Awesome.
Just step down.
All right. Great job, Windsor. Thank you so much for starting the meeting. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job.
Good job, guys. So good. What do you say?
chair for a second. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm doing like this trying to build the chair.
Oh, no.
We have one addendum, right?
The personnel resignations addendum.
So we have to add that, right?
You can add it now or you can add it.
All right, so we can just do, okay. I get it. Do I need a motion for approval of the agenda?
So we just changed what, just the addendum for personnel?
Yeah. Correct, that's the only change.
Motion?
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson? Aye. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Right. And with that, turn it over to Dr. Yarbrough.
All right, thank you. That was a wonderful pledge. Thank you, Windsor Elementary students and Principal Casey Kaczynski. That was awesome. Lots of kids, so I like that. So the mission of the Harlem Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their unlimited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Need a motion for approval of the board meeting minutes, regular and organizational minutes of May 1st, 2023, and special board meeting minutes of May 8th, 2023.
Motion?
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
All right,
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
all right. Jason Bloom. All right.
Well, I hope, board members, you got your picture face ready, because we have a lot of pictures to take tonight. First, we get to start off with two teams that, I was telling Kelly here that, like, I'm running out of words to use for introducing our bowling teams, because as we all are aware, we have this dynasty that has been created here in Harlem, and Harlem's synonymous with bowling. And so tonight we get to recognize our IESA state champion girls bowling team and boys bowling team. And so we got some awesome hardware that they've been holding on to in the hallway for the last like 15 minutes. So keep this rolling. But I want to introduce Kelly Nips, and she's going to let the kids say who they are, introduce the coaches as well, talk a little about this season, because to have both teams win the state championship is incredible. And again, Harlem is so proud of this group, but we are all about bowling here, and this is the future, which I know that a lot of these faces will be back for years to come, so we're excited about that. And then next time when they come back, we'll know how to do this whole lineup thing. Kelly, go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you again for having us. We really appreciate it. We'll start with our girls. Our 8th grader.
Addison Bryan.
8th grader.
Katie Martins. Jonathan Stewart.
Haley Semichuk.
Sarah Wilson. Natalie Abruzzo.
And Coach Jim Bryan. And our boys.
Braden Atkins.
Mason Hensley, Ben Dolly.
Isaiah Linder. Aiden Higginbotham.
And Coach Scott Dolly. All right. Let me tell you about these kids. All right, and trust me, I won't read it all. Maybe I will. Okay, first and foremost, there's more than what we have right here. We also have a very successful 5th and 6th grade program. And I've got actually, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 6 other coaches that are not here. And without them, we would not be able to do the 5th and 6th grade program. I'd like to acknowledge them right now. Kim Katie, Rob Dahlmeyer, Ryan and Aaron Abruzzo, Clarence Waller, and Mike Shawansky. This year we were able to co-op McChesney with Olson Park, Windsor with Maple, and Ralston with Rock Cut to create a boys and a girls team to take to sectionals. So at sectionals, we had 39 kids go to sectionals. And from sectionals, 31 made it to state. 31. And our boys, Ralston boys team finished 16th in the state. Our McChesney girls team finished 12th in the state. Our Windsor girls team just missed making the cut to day 2 by 6 pins. They finished 11th in the state. So that's pretty cool. That's what's coming up, okay? Want to talk to you about the girls first and foremost. This season, they went undefeated. We bowled 4 tournaments prior to sectionals. Every tournament, they took first. They took first at sectionals. They took first at state. But it was not easy at state. Right, girls? No. We had another team, Shorewood Troy, that was very, very formidable. And we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Game 10 was the key, I believe, because we were down 86 pins and we had to bowl them. These girls had so much fire in them. They made that deficit go away. They shot a 775 to Shorewood Troy's 621, which then they won state by 60 pins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, coming back that last game. So that was very exciting, and let me tell you, that was a roller coaster, the whole weekend was. I want to acknowledge our girls. Jaslyn Stewart, right here, she's a 7th grader. She was all tournament team for the McChesney Invite, 11th in average for our middle school bowling program, and we named her the Diamond in the Rough, which she's like, what's that mean? Well, that means all you gotta do is shine you up, and by golly, you're gonna be brighter, but she's gotta believe in herself, and I believe she will for next year. And she had a high game of a 203, and she is a state team champion, so you give her a round of applause. She was all tournament team for the McChesney Invite, 12th in average in the middle school bowling with a 156 average, high game of a 234. We had her day 1, and then there was an unfortunate incident with her little brother not becoming ill, and she ended up having to go home with the family, so we did not have her for day 2, which we really missed her because she really jump-started the team on day 1. But what did we do for her? We bowled for her, didn't we? We sure did. And you guys did amazing for her. And she was voted the best teammate on the team, and she is a state champion. Haley Sevenchuk was an all-tournament team for the McChesney, Freeport, and Harlem Invite, all sectional, all state, 12th place. Last year she finished in 16th place, which 15 is considered all state. So she came back, she made all state this year. She was 3rd in average for middle school bowling with a 177, high game of a 237, state team champion, Haley Semenchuk. This is Sarah Wilson, all tournament team at the Watham, McChesney, and Harlem Invite, all sectional, all state 11th place. Last year she was 17th, just 1 behind Haley. Came back this year as all state. 2nd in average with a 178 average, high game 257, and she is a state champion. Haley Martins, one of our 8th graders, she was on the state champion team last year. She made an all-tournament team for McChesney Invite, 14th in average for the middle school bowling with a 151, high game 202. She was voted most improved bowler on the team, and she's a 2-time state champion. Miss Addison Bryant was all tournament team for all 4 tournaments. She was all sectional, 2-time all-state bowler. Last year she finished in 6th place. This year 9th place. 4th in average in the middle school bowling with a 175, high game of a 234, and she is also a 2-time state champion. And when it came down to trying to figure out who was going to be the MVP, there wasn't just one MVP. I'd like to say they were all 6, and at one tournament, you guys were all 6 MVPs. But 3 girls were all conference, all sectional, all state. 3 MVPs was Sarah, Haley, and Addison. Now for the boys. See, and I'm not even crying yet, okay. All right, so they won 3 out of the 4 tournaments that we had prior to sectionals. They placed 3rd in sectionals, and then they got to state, and all bets were off. I don't think those teams saw them coming, I'll be honest with you. Because after game number 2, 3, it was 2, game 2, they shot an 889, which is a state record.
Wow.
With 2 of them, Ben and Isaiah, each bowling a 279 game.
Wow.
Yeah. After that, the teams were trying to, claw their way back up to it. And I tell you, watching them, they had so much fun. It was so exciting watching you guys, and I know it's just gonna, travel on to next year. I'd like to introduce you to the boys right now. We've got Mr. Mason Hensley right here, and he contributed to the season in every tournament all year long. He was voted co-best teammate, and he is the state champion. We got Braden Atkins, our lone 8th grader. Last year, he was on the team that finished 7th. He was also named co-best teammate and was part of the record-breaking 889 team game. He contributed all season long, and he is also a state champion. Aiden Higginbotham, he's right down there. He was all-tournament team for all 4 tournaments, and 33rd at state, 4th in average with a 184 in the middle school bowling program. He was named Diamond in the Rough, and he knows what that is. And he had a high game of a 241, and he also is a state champion. Isaiah Linder. He was all-tournament team in the McChesney Invite. He shares the record with Ben and like 4 or 5 other boys. Highest game at state with a 279. He was all-state, 7th place with a 194 average. And he was named most improved, definitely most improved out of everybody. Because his middle school average doesn't even compare to what he averaged at state. He averaged 150 for middle school, 194 at state. Wow. So he brought it. And he is a state champion. And then there's Mr. Ben Dolly. He was all-tournament team for Freeport and Harlem. He didn't bowl in the first 2, so there you go. He was sectional individual champion, and he shares the 279 record high game with Isaiah and 4 other boys. He broke 3 records at state, 3 records, 3 game of a 731, 4 game of a 957, and a 10-game total of 2363, which is a 236 average. Wow. And if anybody can beat that, it'll be Ben. So he is also a 2-time All-State. Last year's a 6th grader. He finished 9th. This year, he's a state champion individual and a state champion for team. He had the middle school high average of 207, and he was our Harlem Boys MVP. We only lose 3 bowlers. So we plan on being back here next year. And I know the other schools in the state of Illinois know who we lose and who we still have. And the fire that's in these girls, the fire that's in these boys, we're definitely coming back next year. And we thank you so much for having us here tonight.
Awesome.
There's obviously nothing that I can add to that, so we're going to get straight to the photo. So if we're going to have all of you kind of come in, we'll have the board circle back behind them. We'll see how we want to stop. So we'll see how we want. You might have to do a couple of like layers.
Yeah,
so
layers.
A little bit taller than that.
Somehow you get out.
Where am I going?
You want to get on my shoulders?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'll let somebody else take a photo. Congratulations.
Looking for a repeat next year. Looking for a repeat.
Awesome, we'll see you next year.
Yes.
Really as cool as that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Take a second to kind of shake around here.
You'll do it, guys. Kind of have to.
Let me go this way a little bit. Just give a second for people to come through. All right, I think we're good. We made the transition. So it is my pleasure this evening to introduce one of our athletes from the Harlem girls swimming team, and then some of our gentlemen from the Harlem boys swimming team, as well as Coach Mueller, to talk about their successful season and some feats that have not yet ever been done from our Harlem boys swimming team. And so I'm excited to introduce you to individuals that got to participate in the IHSA State Championship or swimming meet. You were a little while ago, and so we're catching up on your recognition, and then most recently the boys team. So I'm going to turn over to Coach Miller to talk about their season and all the success these individuals have had.
So Zoe just had an incredible sectional. Coming into the sectional, her best time was a 25 in the 50 freestyle. And at the sectional, she dropped 1.4 seconds and swam at 23.66, setting the varsity record and just knocking it out of the park. She ended up third at the sectionals in the 50 free. But with her time, she qualified, made the state standard, and she was the first Harlem girl that we've had make it to state by setting the standard.
Wow.
At that same sectional, she got fourth in the 100 breaststroke also. And then at state, she came in, a little bit of nerves, not too much though. She had the outside lane. In her heat, she finished fourth and ended up 17th in the state out of like 80 swimmers in that event. So 17th in the state, she swam at 23.80, so coming back with a little bit of nerves, just about swam the exact same time she did at the sectional meet. So outstanding job. With that effort, she's currently the 27th ranked swimmer in the state of Illinois in her class.
Oh.
She's a junior, so we've got another year of Zoe, and this next year, supposedly, her sister is going to be a freshman, and she's got two cousins also that are going to come back and swim, so we might have a cousins relay.
Family relay.
And then we have the boys up. So my son, this is his senior year. Coming in, he had some goals to try to make it back to state, and he accomplished that. So throughout his years of Harlem swimming, he 6 times was the conference titleist in 6 events. I had 1 individual sectional title in the 200 IM last year. This year, the competition brought into Calvin, they had some fast swimmers. So he ended up 2nd in the 50 free at sectionals. He was under the state qualifying time with a 21.65. And he was 2nd in the 100 freestyle at sectionals behind Camden Taylor. I'm sure you've heard of him. The guy that broke Ryan Held's Olympic record for the state of Illinois. He finished 2nd behind Camden with a time of 46.84, also qualifying for state. And at state this year, he finished 19th in the 50 free with a 21.27, and that set a varsity record. And finished 14th in the state in the 100 freestyle, missing finals by 2 places, just like he did last year. Finished 14th in the 100 freestyle last year also, with a 46.44. And that's for Jeremy. I'm gonna miss you. It's been quite a ride. It's been, huh?
Like, it's not like I'm not gonna be your son anymore.
However, I will miss coaching you. And I have to put up comments like this all the time at practice. No, Dad, it's a flip turn. Okay.
No, he doesn't say dad, he says Todd.
Oh, yeah. So it's gonna be good getting back to being dad again. So the other 3 gentlemen on the stage here are part of our first ever qualifying relay in Harlem history. So in 55 years of Harlem boys swimming, since 1967 when we started at the Harlem Middle School, when it was the high school, we had our first swim team. In that 55 years, we have never, either boys or girls, ever qualified a relay to state. This year, the major goal at the beginning of the season was to set the oldest record on the record board in the 400 freestyle from 1979. And that record was a 3:21:10. So we got close all season, pretty close, but never quite breaking that record. So at sectionals was their last chance. So I geared up the lineup to have plenty of rest, skipped the 200 free, we did the 2 free relay, but it was still, took Noah out of the 500 to give him more rest. He probably could have made it to state in the 500 considering how well he was swimming that day, but he gave it up in order to make that relay stronger. We broke the record in 1979 by 1.89 seconds. That's an eternity. So 3:19:21's the new record, new standard. Hopefully that will last, well, a year at least. All 4 swimmers swam near their best times for the season in each 100 leg of that relay. Bo here swam 2.17 seconds faster than he had all season in the 100 free in that relay.
Wow.
And Evan dropped 1.5 seconds faster than he's ever swam all season. Noah was right on his best time, just a smidge over. 50.99 was his best time coming into that swim, and he swam like a 51.1. It was pretty close. And Jeremy was a 46 low, which was faster than he actually swam at state. So I would have to say that Jeremy was, I'm going to state again in the individual events. He got out the 50 free, yeah, I made it. 100 free, yeah, I'm going. Coming out, he was the anchor of this relay. So the order was Noah, then it was Bo, and then Evan, and then Jeremy. And Jeremy was like probably like 12 yards behind going in. Coming into the last turn, so there's 4 lengths of the pool. Coming into that last turn, they flipped at the same time, him and Byron. Everyone knew. Given that opportunity, as soon as they flipped, no one's going to beat him to the wall. He came into the wall, beat them by half a second, And Jeremy was like, "We're going to state! This is a relay! This is incredible!" They were like in a circle, and they had teams from East and coming over and congratulating them because they knew that was our season goal, was to break that record. I said, breaking the record doesn't guarantee you state, but we'll give you a chance. So it was icing on the cake to be able to go to state. And I'm so proud of these guys. So there you go. So we went to state, and we were seated 32nd, which out of 16 sectionals that go to state, we were seated last. But we were there, and I said, guys, just because you're last doesn't mean you can't improve. So they ended up moving up 2 spots and finished 30th in the state out of 32nd. So and they almost broke their record again. They ended up with a 3:19.54. They just added just a smidge, but I'm still, the way they came into state and represented Harlem very well. So thank you for this opportunity. I have Jake Stroop here from, he graduated from Guilford as a swimming MVP, and he was my assistant coach this year. Outstanding knowledge of technique that came on board and helped us out. And Brad Shields, he was a volunteer assistant coach this year. Much like I did Jeremy's freshman year, I volunteered and came in and was a volunteer under Kelly for a year. And once Kelly Logderman left, I became the head coach. Brad stepped in, since Bo here is his son, stepped in and helped us out too. And he has a breadth of swimming knowledge. He swam in college and swam at Harlem High School and had some records on the board. And he's Jeremy ended up breaking all 24 individual records at Harlem and now has three varsity relay records to boot. We broke 2 relay records this year. And Bo ended up saying, "You can't have Mueller all over the board." Bo ended up breaking 4 of Jeremy's records this year. So.
If you come around again, and then we'll have you all come into the middle, face that way, so we can go forward.
Just gonna hold it together, no.
Yeah, you will. If you all want to come in this way a little bit and then turn around and face outward so I can get a photo. I'll stay.
We're just gonna try peeking through some.
Wait for Brad.
I'm not be red. Get in here.
And you're Brad.
Here we go, 1, 2.
He's got to get a new phone. Way to go.
Yes, we did. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Great job.
There you go, kid.
Took me a second to register real fast.
Did? I'm always ready for comic coming from left field.
Yeah, literally.
We're not done yet. We're still got a few more pictures.
All right.
So, this is a great way to end the school year for sure. So, it is my pleasure this evening to introduce some individuals here that are going to receive an award from the League of Women Voters. We have Ms. Elena Mock, who is our student council advisor, who supported the League of Women Voters, with an event that they had. And so I'm going to turn it over and let them talk a little about what happened and how impressed they were with our students and their support for the event. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Hi, I want to thank the Harlem School Board for inviting us to come and give this award to these wonderful kids. My name is Carol Davies. I'm the Voter Service Chair of the League of Women Voters of Greater Rockford. League of Women Voters is a national organization. It's been around since 1920, and the Rockford local branch has been around since 1921. That makes us one of the oldest continuing local branches in the United States. So the League of Women Voters is here tonight to present this illustrious group with an award, and I'm going to read from the letter of commendation. This year, the League worked with several groups who helped to educate the public by assisting at voter registrations and candidate events. The Board of Directors of the League of Women Voters of Greater Rockford believed it appropriate to acknowledge those organizations which help further the League's mission of public education and voter service. The Board of Directors agreed unanimously to award a certificate of appreciation to the Harlem Student Council and their advisor, Ms. Elena Meck, for assistance in running the Harlem School Board candidate meet and greet on March 22nd. And there were several of you here I remember from. So, congratulations, those of you who have positions, and it was a wonderful evening. I've been doing this, as I mentioned before, for years, lots of years, and I have to truly say this was one of the best meet and greets I ever attended. The civility, the preparation of the people who were speaking, and the huge turnout was just absolutely overwhelming. So I am presenting this. We have 2 plaques and a letter of commendation to Ms. Meck. And citizen involvement is how it ends. Citizen involvement for those who represent the future of democracy is always appreciated. Congratulations to the Harlem Student Council and their advisor.
Before we do a photo and stuff, let's introduce ourselves so that we know who you are. Say name and grade.
I'm Eva Perez and I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Nico Maikos, 12th grade.
I'm Kylie Fry, I'm a senior.
I'm Jay Martinez, and I'm a senior.
I'm Elena.
Well, thank you so much for representing us well and for supporting that event. We're obviously very proud of you, so thank you for you and it's mine. So we do got your photo. Oh, don't go too far. You got to hold on. You got to be in the photo. Yeah.
Let's see,
Thank you.
let's see if I can really see Jason.
Yep. You got it now. All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
There you go, guys. Thank you, guys. For supporting that event. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Don't worry, you got it. I don't know if we're going to do a photo for this week, so that might be the last one. All right, so we've got one more. We're excited. Introduce one of my friends, Miss Tammy Poole, who's going to come up with, we got a whole crew of people here, to recognize individuals that supported a very important event that you also were a part of as well. And so I'm going to turn it over to her, and then I'm going to get a video queued up. Yeah, come on up. If you haven't figured out, these people are from Maple Elementary.
Proudly represented.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Got some great spirit going on there.
So on behalf of Maple School, thank you so very much, Harlem School Board, Dr. Yarbrough, and Josh Arand. We would not have this new beautiful playground without each of you. It's been a long process, which we're going to highlight in our video in just a minute. But I think it just speaks volumes as to who we are as a district when the school board president and the superintendent of schools are actually out there helping us. And I don't even know if the staff knows this, but on Friday at about 3 o'clock, we found out we were 2 pallets short of concrete due to the swings that somehow there was just a little miscommunication with the community build guy. And so Mike Sterling gets on the phone, he's talking to Josh, Mike Chandler shows up, and then we ended up with 2 pallets of concrete, because I have all these people here to help, and then coming back the next day, and if we don't have the concrete, we're kind of at a standstill. So little things like that, people just jumped in, and I just really want to thank Josh Arand and Mike Chandler. I've been a principal 18 years, and I've never done a project like this. I have no idea how to do this type of thing, and Josh and Mike's sat in numerous meetings with the builder, or with the the sales rep and talked us through it, and then they double checked with me, told me everything that we would need, Mike did and Josh, and came over and both pitched in and helped. I didn't even recognize Josh because I've never seen him like in a t-shirt. Who is that man? I don't care, he's real skinny, but I'm sure he looks like he's over there while we were all inside eating. And then he turns around, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Josh Arand, he's back. So, Mike Chandler was there the next morning at like 6:30 with a crew, dropping off stuff for us to get started. So we are just so thankful. We are so proud of this at Maple, and the best part for us was seeing the kids the next day. We can't even get them to go to the bus now. We get them off the playground equipment to get on the bus, and we've never had that problem before. So thank you so much for your generosity, and so we have a video we'd like to show you.
Cards and a book as well that
Oh,
whole class was made.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Alright, so again, thank you to the board for
Thank
supporting
you.
this
Thank you
project.
very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you guys.
For all of that.
Thanks, guys.
We're excited to have that addition. I think that's a record for you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is every meeting gonna be like this one?
That's a good problem to have.
I know.
45 minutes?
What are you doing here?
Motion. No.
All right, is that it, Jason? All right.
Any more tuck back there?
Just checking. Moving on to comments from the community. We have one online comment and one in-person public comment. That person, Nicholas Staines.
Good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of the Harlem Veteran Project students. This year, we're doing our showcase this weekend coming up. So we have 11 kids in the class, and they have completed 11 documentaries. So what they do is they interview individuals, they get subjects or subjects, and then they get these raw interviews and they make a documentary out of it. So I think this is one of the, best kept secrets in the State Line area. If you're able to make it out, you're gonna see high quality stuff produced. So and this year marks a transition year. So we're going from the Harlem Veteran Project to the Harlem Documentary Project. Because now we've expanded, not only including veterans, but we're also including other individuals. For example, civil rights activists, Ms. Zev from Mississippi, where we took a couple kids down there. Will be showcasing her doc Friday. Jordan DeMario over at the Boys and Girls Club video game, esports extraordinaire, he'll be highlighted on Saturday. And then the Serbian American community here in Rockford, 3 individuals telling their story of coming from Yugoslavia to the Rockford area. Just kind of giving you an idea of the range. And we kick things off with Mr. Tommy Meeks on Friday night. So Friday night, we'll start at 6. We'll have a little bit of a promotional video to give you a sneak peek at some of the others that will be playing the weekend. We'll show 2 docs that night. Saturday, we'll do a screening at 2. And then we'll take a break around 4 o'clock, listen to the jazz band, jam out in Commons, eat some Dairy House ice cream free of charge, thanks to Brent Murray over there. And then we'll come back and have a second screening of 3 docs. Sunday, we'll do 3 more docs at 2, and then we'll announce our awards. So the first place doc will get $500, second place $300, third place $200, and that comes from John Tuttle, a veteran who we interviewed years ago, and he has donated that for the kids. So that's a great opportunity for them to get a little extra cash going into college or the summer, depending on that. I can't say it enough, it is one of the best kept secrets in the Harlem District. I know some people hear about it, know it. We have not seen the greatest representation in previous years, but I hope to see you all out there, to come out there, view it. Dr. Yarbrough's been to many of them, so he can vouch for the quality of it. I'm telling you, you'll be impressed by these students. I had kids there Friday night till 9 o'clock, the night before prom, working to perfect it. I had a couple seniors show up today. Not many seniors showed up, I don't know why, but a couple of them did for this class. So they really do put countless hours into this. And they're working hard. They learn so many problem-solving skills. The family that we've created through this is strong. Many alumni will be back, and I can't say enough about it. So come on out. I got a couple flyers here I'll leave with you guys, so please make it out this weekend to one of the days. Thank you. All right, thank you.
I think you already know about it. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
No other comments from the community? Thank you, Nick, for doing that and letting us know about that. We're moving over to approval of the bills.
What an amazing night of recognition
Yeah.
and awards. And it's probably the longest group I remember ever. So that was great.
It's just slightly longer than what you're going to go through now.
I'm going to try and make this quick, but congratulations to everyone and thank you for coming. All right, so now I get to follow that up with the bills. So the total payables for this period were $1,304,960.40. There were void checks of $235.99. There were 2 payrolls this period in the amount of $6,566,622.58 for total expenditures of $7,871,582.98. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $6,795,514.76. The tort fund paid $6,054.88. The operations and maintenance fund paid $400,381.21. The transportation fund paid $375,888.99. The IMRF Social Security fund paid $224,228.58. And the capital projects fund paid $69,514.56. Again, for total expenditures of $7,871,582.98. Are there any unanswered bill questions?
No, the only unanswered question is, we had so many awards, my computer broke.
Well, I've got 15 minutes till mine forcibly reboots as well.
Oh, is that what it did?
Might be, that's where mine's going for.
I haven't got that.
Wow. Okay.
Well, for the bills, that's the bills, so.
Well, it was working before, no, that's fine. That's why I just looked at a blank screen, I wanted to come back in, I don't know, okay. We'll make that work. A motion to accept the bills.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Carlson?
No.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings? Aye. Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Moving on to communications and committee reports. Wow, that was amazing. Like that, we have a lot of amazing kids in this district. I love to see the range of all the families that come out, from the kids speaking and doing the pledge to the bowling championship pedigree that's here, going all the way from 6th grade to the high school. And 2 state champions being both from Boys and Girls Club, boys and girls in the middle school. Amazing. And did they say 270? What was the high school?
Oh, man.
279?
Yeah.
Wow. Never even thought of trying to get close to that.
Give me 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games, that's right.
Could you do that even with bumpers? Probably not.
Let's not try. Well, then going on to swimming. One of the most prolific swimmers in Harlem's history is gonna be going on to do bigger and better things, but we're already having some of his records broken by one of our own Shields, so that's seeing the future come through. Now just rolling that into the kids that are doing these documentaries and spending all the time doing this stuff, that it is a secret that shouldn't be a secret. We should be screaming it from the tops of our buildings. Other things that are going on, we have plant sales going on through the district and all the schools, from the high school. I know the middle school just did one. I think they're gonna start another one up on Wednesday, because they still have plants, but they've already sold out most of their stuff. They just planted too much. Crazy science teachers. I think I know one. Yeah, I have plants everywhere. Our next regular board meeting will be June 12th, 2023 at 6 p.m. I will be chairing my first policy committee meeting, June 20th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Note, we have an ISB tri-conference is scheduled for November 16th through 19th. Make sure, if you're gonna be going, to get a hold of Chris, so she can set everything up. Email or call, she's pretty easy to get a hold of some days. Yeah. Review of the board agreements and next steps for facilitated by Lloyd Grant. That was basically everything we went over last Monday. Just, still nothing. This is awesome. Kind of like fish out of water right now, 'cause thank you. All right, you guys are all good with the agreements that we already agreed on, so I don't think anybody's changing anything. All right, the next thing says the school board of building advocates. This is something that was kind of a weird thing. Me and Terrell both tried to contact each other about this kind of idea separately. I was wondering, and I wanted to approach the other board members about it. This would be something where we would have the school advocate, school liaison for board members at each one of our schools. This would be something where the school liaison would be responsible for going to some meetings, i.e. like the PTAs, familiarizing themselves with the school's program, the principal, going to some of each one of the school's events. Not all the events, but events as they have them throughout the year. And that's something that each one of the board members could then bring back to the board and be vocal and just be an advocate for that school, kind of thing. Now, I didn't put this on a thing, I just wanted to approach our board members and see what they feel about it first before formalizing it or finalizing it, but I just wanted to see, because it's actually more of a, there'd be more meetings, so that's more out of your time, so just wanted to, before I ask that of you, that you'd be able to consider it.
And you'll get to pick the meeting that you want to attend. It's all up to you. You know, so there's no like obligation, like you have to go to this meeting. But you're cinched that building's liaison, right? So the parents will know that as well. You may attend some PTO meetings, like Mike said. You'll bring it back to the board. Here's some things that was talked about at the PTO meeting. Just a way for, we've talked about this for a number of years, just a way for you to be more involved with the individual schools. Or another way.
Thoughts?
I like it.
Is it something that you would vote on a school, pick a school? How, is something that's closest to your home? Is it just any school you want to go to, or?
That'd be up to trying to see, one, first off, before we did all this, to see if there was an interest. Two, then we'd try to get some comments or questions from you guys on what your interests are, or maybe a school interest kind of thing, and then try to pair that.
I think there's a benefit to it, obviously. I think agendas should be published for everybody, because just like our own committee meetings, it would be nice to have kind of it open and welcome for all board members to attend, one way or the other.
Yeah, because, well, state law,
Oh, yes.
being a board member, you can go to a PTA meeting, but you, now it's starting up because I plugged it into a different thing also. You can go and you just can't participate in a meeting. You can be observant, but because of the dual hats, you couldn't be at the PTA meeting in your board member role in a meeting.
No, I agree with that. I was just saying.
But I just would like to put that up too.
Oh, sure, okay. I would say, separate from my question, was just making sure, because as you obviously know as well, and other ones, we have students, so a lot of the stuff we're doing already. So making sure I can add to that would be great, but, you know, I'll be there anyways in some capacities to the schools, no matter what schools, if we do this, would be, so.
Yes.
I mean, I can see the validity to it. Like I said, obviously it's mapped. It's not completely mapped out. It's in its exploratory stage. Is what I'm
correct.
What I'm gathering.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to flush it all out, but there's no interest in.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Why do all
Yeah.
the other legwork?
I mean, I think anything that we can do to, especially with like PTA meetings and stuff, this is something that I talked about before. Anything that we can do with the PTAs and stuff to invite our parents back into our schools and get them engaged with their students. And if there's something that we can do on our end to help, if that's going to a couple meetings a year even, I can agree. It could be very positive.
How say you? Thoughts?
Yeah, it can be very interesting if it's, you know, if it's not like a board meeting where it's twice a month or something. Obviously, the summer would be out unless there's special things going on during the summer. It could be beneficial even to float to different schools. I know I personally loved working at Parker Center years and years ago, so I, you know, 5-year-olds are my forte. But it could be very enjoyable to get to know some of the staff as well. Working in food service, you kind of stayed in the kitchen and never knew anybody, so it kind of be interesting to know who's running the place. So yeah, it could be interesting.
Okay.
So what I can do, if what I'm hearing, you guys want to explore it a little bit more, send you examples, you know, of how it would look, things like that, and then we can kind of go from there. Of other school districts that have done this.
Yeah, I definitely vote on that.
Yes.
Larry?
I'll have to sleep on it, Mr. Sterling, because in my brain, I always remember, no good deed goes unpunished.
That's true. It is, and that's why it is more of a cost, so I understand that, so. Very appreciative of that. Yep. Okay.
I didn't think you slept.
Yeah, it's
That's just a side note. Yeah.
Okay. All right, now, going from there to the next one, 10A, 6th grade transition to middle school. I'd like to disseminate some more information out from the latest studies that have come back, have our admin team be available to all your guys' comments and questions and concerns for issues with this, and on the June 12th meeting, bring this to a vote, but the vote would be to bring the 6th grade up to the middle school. Right now, we don't have the years listed, but talking with Terrell and their admin team, they are hoping that if we would do this, it would be for the following school year, the 24-25, right?
2024, yeah, fall of 2024.
Fall of 24. This would give them time. But again, we're here. Yeah, go ahead.
I know any way we go about it, it's gonna be like tearing off a Band-Aid. I mean, there's going to be hiccups and stuff, and I'm just curious, what are a couple pros and cons that you see from doing it 23-24 and 24-25? Because it's gonna be an inconvenience somewhere, somehow, at any given time. I believe it's the best thing to do for our district, but what are, instead of just peeling off that Band-Aid going 23-24, what are some of the cons for that, I guess?
Right, we need some time to plan.
Okay.
Staffing, you have some staff, obviously with certification, things that they're gonna have to work through as well. And so we give obviously our students, an opportunity too, to get ready for it, right?
Right.
Our parents as well, so really it comes down to planning.
I appreciate that.
Is there anything else, Mick, or?
I would say the biggest thing is the whole staffing with the certifications, making sure the appropriate people are covering the different courses.
Would it be something like back in the day when the 7th and 8th grade were split between Hoffman and the middle school, and they possibly could utilize both buildings again? Or would it just be cram them all in and
It would just be at the current middle school site. Yeah. Yeah, and we'll, depending on the questions that we get tonight, like Mr. Sterling said, we'll have a proposal put together on the 12th, going through the wall study with the numbers and things of that nature. And because of our, obviously our student population dwindling, our students can fit. And not that the fit is everything, but as far as utilizing the building, it would be good.
Yeah, I've asked about that with utilizing Hoffman, and part of that is you're gonna have to duplicate services. So now you're talking adding principals, adding support staff. All that comes with more revenue that's adding a new cost. Go ahead.
Yeah, have the middle school, have they had a team working with this walled study? Have they already started the planning process?
They've been included. All of the buildings have been included, with looking at the numbers and things like that. So the middle school has been included as well.
Okay. And so after June, then there would be a formal
proposal.
And the committee would be formed of middle school teachers, and I'm assuming elementary school teachers that will be part of the planning process?
It's going to depend on what you all vote on the 12th. If you vote on it happening, obviously, we put all that together to get ready for the following year.
But yes, they would be, that's the process that would then be taken.
I would see it, Mr. Smith, being similar to when H9 and HHS came together, working together as a group. I would see something similar to that if that's the direction that was chosen.
Yeah.
And everybody pulling on the same rope.
Yep, yep.
I know we've seen the data specifically that they would fit, that if there are an administration, teachers that will work with that study, I think getting some of their feedback and some of their comments, kind of, I have a feeling opening it up to the public, we will absolutely receive that, but anything to kind of help curate that so we can get all voices heard, I think a lot of general consensus is this is something we should have done, but I want to make sure we've got the right game plan. We really are looking after and getting the opinions of all our teachers, our parents, just knowing that what we're doing makes the most sense.
Okay.
I mean, I work in logistics, right? So immediately my brain's gonna go to logistics. I just wanna make sure that the logistics are there, and I think similar to Kurt's sentiment and just hearing from everybody. I share Aaron's sentiment is, you know, it's gonna be tough either way, but I think at the end of the day, making the best decision for the students and teachers, the admins, it'll make it a lot smoother, right? So I'm interested to hear everything the board's got to say and the proposal.
And doing just this, maybe not tying a bunch of stuff together would be great as well.
Yeah, no, this isn't,
Just pulling from history.
yes, we're not, one thing at a time, we don't need to
Yes,
do
please.
15 different moves. Was there anything else?
So based off of this conversation, our team will put together a proposal on the 12th, and we'll bring it, present it to everybody.
And safety, my concern is safety too.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
I think that's everybody's concern.
Yeah.
Well, I know everybody, but I'm just saying, I was just saying.
We'll have some more to bring forward to, when was that information gonna be public for Loves Park?
They were still working on some stuff, so he didn't
Okay,
know exactly.
so they'll have more information coming out too, so we'll have more things to talk about. As I's get dotted and T's get crossed.
I'm all for it, as long as we have safety.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will you guys?
So we'll put something together.
Okay.
And then you'll have me talk about it.
Yep. Grades at that time, or?
We'll talk about that too.
Okay.
And any information we could just send right ahead of the meeting would be beneficial as well. That's
Oh, yeah, no,
not
no,
just,
yeah, so
here it
you
is.
guys are gonna
Let's
start
talk.
getting this stuff shortly.
I was gonna say,
Perfect.
But then also please
He does.
think over the next little bit and start sending those emails for questions to get answered, documents that you want to see, anything other than, I mean, you're getting a lot. The fire hose is gonna open up and a whole bunch of documents are gonna get shot your way, so just, know to be on the lookout for them, obviously. And two, ask again, whatever, because obviously it's a big thing.
And just from this conversation, you guys are gonna get emails, right, from all different sources, so.
As we should, yeah.
And as you should, so letting us know what kind of questions come from that as well, that we can have answered.
I don't know if I bring this up here, but kind of bouncing off what everyone said, like, I know that there's been discussion in the past, obviously, the RSO is Loves Park. I'm wondering if we align with like the high school and just have county be represented at both of our schools, so then we have some unity between the, I don't know if that can be done, I don't know what the contracts look like, but there be unity between our RSOs and they can kind of work together, I think would, because having two departments, I think, is just adding another layer, taken away from something. That's in my opinion, and I could be completely off with that. But if we only had to deal with one police department, that I've talked to the sheriff in the past about some other things, and he's very willing to listen, and I don't know what the capability of that is.
Okay. Think that
Nothing against what's going on now, but I just think a uniformity between the middle school and the high school as far as the policies.
I get it. I think that would be something that we would have to bring back. You would have to go through different talks and get presented with all the different options that there might be there. Right now, I know we do have an agreement with Loves Park, but what does that expire? When does it expire?
It's up for.
Yeah, because I know you're doing talks right now, so.
So typically that one's rolled to a year, so we would have to give them like a half-year notice on that at a minimum. But there's also jurisdictional issues with that possibly,
Correct.
so.
Well, I'm just asking about that. I
No,
just
no,
think
but what-
dealing with one person.
Yeah.
Correct, but what would need to happen then was just with this conference, he'll get some of those answers out into an email form and send it back out to everyone so you guys can, if we need to, we can bring that back for
Thank you.
another discussion. We don't even know what the agreements between Winnebago and Loves Park wouldn't look like it, so you have to go through, you have to look through legal and see what we can do.
Just a suggestion, yeah.
No, it's a good suggestion, but that's why we have them, and that's, I mean, now we gotta go get information for it, right? All right, so with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Kurt Thompson.
Wow, all right. A lot of ground to cover overall here. Congratulations to all the students. It was amazing to see that many students and parents all in here for such a great reason, celebrating successes. Some of it was like deja vu. I remember literally last year, the bowling team being in here and the swim team being in here, and us being able to congratulate them for their accomplishments. It's great to see them again, and hopefully we see them again for that as well. Who am I missing here? It's great to see the pledge. That many students and parents in here too, and running out of room. That's a great problem to have, and I always like to have someone doing the pledge for that. I had the privilege of attending the Machese Park Talent Show last week, right after the business services meeting. They did a great job facilitating all the students coming in there. All the students had a great job. Some of the acts were absolutely hilarious and amazing. So I was glad to be able to attend that. Looking forward to the groundbreaking here Friday for Rock Cut. Some amazing things coming up for Rock Cut here. Being able to get things started with that gym is going to be excellent first step. I can't wait to see the amazing things that are going on there and be part of that as well. Congratulations to the student council. Like, how great is that, right? Like, you guys were part of a great discussion around advocacy and the fact that our students were able to help facilitate that. That's great. And what, the longest, one of the oldest women leagues of voters is right here in our area and is still active and still promoting and still having that connection. Considering we're here because of all the democratic values, that's just great to see for everything there. Outside of that, business services pulled up one thing, and I'm sure we'll discuss this here further, U-Science. So U-Science is a software opportunity that we're looking to present our students. And it was, which course was it specifically was going to be the start of this one?
This was with our career development courses.
Career development courses.
And I also at our middle school, we use that as a career exploration.
And that's really want to make sure, because we kind of talked of how that was not by individual seats, right? Like, we have access, it's a license, so any of our students can do that. And I just want to make sure that that's readily available or having access, or our students know how to use that and leverage it. I did a lot of research on it since then, and it really does look like a great program. You have the opportunity of going through, seeing what their strengths or weaknesses are, seeing businesses that can kind of tie to those, a lot of deep dives into that, but still easy. And some of the questions that I have with a lot of those type of tests they're really easy to game, right? You go, oh, I know I'm supposed to be an engineer, so I can answer it how they want me to. They really kind of identify that and kind of go around that to really get to your core strengths that way. So I think it's a great service for where we're going with it, but I want to open it up. There's no additional cost to it. I think it's a benefit. I would have loved to have something like that at my age, and I'm sure other students now will if they're in that course or not. So I just wanted to call that out to make sure we have that available if we vote on that tonight. Let's see, beyond that, I don't have the long of list as Mr. Sterling. I just do have one potential change to help a little bit of everyone here. We had moved our business services meetings from 6 o'clock, clearly due to overcrowding, to 4:30. I vote to move it kind of a middle ground, just to make sure we've got the right amount of seats in here, to that of being at 5:30 for that of 2023 and 2024. So are we able, is that on?
Yes.
It is in the voting agenda, thank you, perfect. We will vote on that. Hopefully that'll work and take care of our seating problem. And if you're curious and you want to make sure you have a seat, pencil in now, because the next one here, it says 6 o'clock, but I promise you, unless we vote differently, it will be 5:30, June 7th, right back here. Just come at 5:30, stay till 6. I mean, it's going to be a great one. And with that, that ends my report.
I thought the June one was already preset. It was in the 2000.
Oh, it still says 6 o'clock.
For June it's 6.
Thank you.
Everything starts in the July.
I had to keep you on your toes. It was not me misreading anything. It was just to keep you on your toes.
So 5:30 will start in July forward.
I mean, come at 5:30. That way you guarantee a seat. And we will promptly start at 6.
I'm enjoying this today. All right.
I just don't like going, before Evelyn. Evelyn?
Evelyn, you are up.
I was used to be on the other side, it was so much better.
Good evening, everyone. The room has kind of dwindled, but thank you all that are still here. First, like I said, I love the artwork. It's really nice to see the different pictures and stuff, especially the robots, the red one and the gold one. So thank you, students, that continuously bring your beautiful artwork for us to see every time we have a meeting. It's greatly appreciated. And then I want to say thank you to Windsor for, I think it was first grade to sixth, for your Pledge of Allegiance. You did an amazing job. We love seeing the students, and I'm so glad to be able to see them in person. So thank you for bringing them out. So many students to name, so I won't do that, but I want to say congratulations to the bowling team, boys and girls, the swim team, boys and girls. Boy, I mean, we have some amazing, talented, gifted students here. So each year we just keep getting better and better. So I just can't wait till each year to see the progress. So thank you, and thank you to the coaches and the parents for being there for your students and the continued support that you give them. So, and I also want to say thank you to the staff council, student council, sorry about that. To win that award, the Women's League of Voters, I mean, you guys did an amazing job that night, and I think it's awesome to see kids to really be able to get involved in politics, to be able to go and try to talk to people to get involved. And your presence there at night was really nice and really professional, so I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Mabel, for thanking us for the playground. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to see all the playgrounds as they continue to come up. And Josh, I want to say thank you too for all that you do. You never cease to amaze me. You are greatly appreciated, so thank you so much. And then also, I want to say, as we're coming to an end of the school term this year, I want to say, wish the class of 2023 successful future and good luck as you start your new journey. And I want to say thank you to the parents, the staff, the teachers, administration, the work that you do to help our students to be successful in the, as they come from preschool up to 12th grade. Some of them might like, when you're in school, you're like, I can't wait to get out. But once you leave, you always want to go back. You still think about something that makes you want to come back. So I'm just wishing each and everyone continued success as we get ready for May 27th at VMO. Looking forward to it. And then all the other activities that the seniors have coming up. And then Mr. Stangy, I want to thank you for being here tonight to tell us about the documentary showcase. My husband's been driving me crazy with it, so I can't wait to see it. Oh my gosh. So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you for all you do and your students and everything. So I think that's all I have to report. Oh, thank you. I always forget that. The next Equity and Social Justice meeting will be July 27th at 4:30 at the high school in the West Wing 145. And then also we all had the ISB that came out to help us last Monday. And it was a successful meeting. So looking forward to working with all our board members. And thank you. That's all I have to report.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Meeks. Well, I would like to also thank the students from Windsor School for being here to do our pledge. They did just a terrific job, and it made me think how it becomes part of our, it just becomes almost routine that by the time we're in the 6th grade, that Pledge of Allegiance becomes just ingrained in us because we keep going over it all the time. Like tying your shoe, once you learned it and you've done it so many times, it just becomes ingrained and it's automatic. And I think that that's what we need to be doing in regards to teaching these kids about not hurting one another, that we should not. It is not okay to hurt other people. And we just have to take that with the same kind of that repetitiveness so that it becomes ingrained in all of our students so that when they become adults, they don't just know the Pledge of Allegiance and how to tie their shoe, but they also know how to be nonviolent and not hurt one another. I just think that it is so important that we, as the adults, be those leaders and teach those kids from the youngest age. And I also wanted to go on record saying that I will never come to this board meeting dressed as nicely as Ms. Meeks. Ms. Meeks, you always look so nice. Doesn't she?
It was a fantastic compliment.
She does. I mean, it comes up every once in a while at this board meeting about the way that we dress. I know Mr. Yarborough gave me a hard time when I first started about stepping it up a little bit, so I'll never make it there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Bloom, I just wanted you to know that we should never spare on the words that we give for the Harlem students, because they all make a splash in this community. And I would vote that this is the best school district in this country. And why did the Mustang cross the playground? To get to the other slide.
We'll never get that minute back.
There is another education.
Please put it in the notes.
We'll never get that minute back.
There is an education committee meeting coming up on June 13th, and it will be at 6 o'clock. You're all invited.
Thank you, sir. That's gonna be hard to follow up, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this over to Aaron McKnight.
I am just going to just pass it on to Rebecca right now, because I can't follow that, and for time's sake, I want to be courteous of people. I think everything I wanted to address was that I've already said something about.
Okay.
All right, yes, I will start. I just ditto all of the great things that have happened this evening. Specifically, I like the allegiance, the Pledge of Allegiance. If you really take it phrase by phrase by phrase, it's really important to learn. I want to thank the voters and the community of the Harlem School District who decided that I was good enough to sit in this position and voted for me. The recent organizational meeting was helpful. I think that the school board could use some more orientation training. I think that it'd be great to have even a personal meeting similar to the organizational, where we just sit down and go over just stuff that the board does and takes care of and handles. I would like to see the board come up with some bylaws or, production issues where we know who does what and what does, how the whole system works. How do you bring up a policy? How do you get rid of a policy? How do you, work with the whole meeting functions. I think one of my biggest things, and I think the thing that came up with everybody who was candidate this spring, is the bullying. And we have really got to wrap ourselves around how to get rid of this bullying in the district, whether it's, 7th graders poking each other with pencils on some TikTok challenge, or if it's a high schooler who has claimed that her boyfriend has assaulted her in the hallway, or if it's even grade schoolers who are smacking each other with Chromebooks, which obviously isn't helpful either. But it's just a matter of the bullying is not, at this point, is not going away. And we need to really, and possibly form a committee, kind of like your policy committee or your other committees, and just say, hey, we really need to sit down and wrap ourselves around this and get this out of the district. It's just, and then we can be a district in the community even that says, hey, they figured it out. They know how to get rid of bullying, and we can work at it as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Megan Hastings.
All right, so I'm not gonna be as kind as Aaron. I've been busy, so I got a couple thank yous to make. First of all, the future teacher signing was incredible. I got to see those 12 students sign into education. That was awesome, and thank you for everybody who put that event together. It was an awesome introduction to the high school. Loves Park Elementary's spring art show and concert. Kids were great. So fun to see everybody out again. The halls were lined with artwork. It was just real fun. Shout out to the Learning Center staff who managed the book fair. It was a madhouse. Everybody loves a good coupon. Harlem Middle School band concert. Huge wow to those students. They absolutely killed it. I loved watching the percussion section move around. You know, the teacher mentioned the progress, and I didn't see the first one. I saw the second one, and I'm looking forward to see the ones to come. So Miss Young and your students, you did a fantastic job. And the parents who stayed and picked up the gymnasium, thank you. Friday, I got the privilege of visiting several campuses, and I had a blast. It was great getting to know the buildings, meeting the staff, and seeing what the students have been up to. I had the biggest smile on my face when I went home. Special thanks to Mr. Moreland and the staff at Marquette, Ms. Nelson and the staff at Olson Park, Mr. Rollinson and the staff at Ralston, and Dr. Boyce and the staff at the high school. Cherry on top of that day was Aaron Pennon signing for cheer, so huge congrats to Aaron on their accomplishments. He had an incredible support system, so kudos to Mom as well. For tonight, Windsor, love it, love it. Love the kiddos, love seeing them come in here. The bowling team just blew me away. The stats, the numbers, my head's still spinning. Swimming as well, breaking all those records, just incredible. You can definitely tell that 122's athletics are not to be messed with, and I'm super proud of that. Student council, awesome to get an award. That's one of the groups that doesn't get to really, like, you know, they don't have meets, you know, you don't go on the field and, you know, debate. So, you know, the fact that not only did they get to participate in a real life event, but got acknowledged for it was awesome. And Maple, thank you for your playground. I look forward to attending the event on the 22nd. And for the documentaries, I'm sure my wife will be super happy that I will be gone Friday through Sunday because it's literally one of my favorite things. So, yeah, thank you to everybody. It's been a blast of a first 2 weeks, and I look forward to, you know, the rest of the 2 years.
Thank you. Yes.
I also forgot I did it. I was late attending the Future Teacher Summit.
You were there, though.
But I want to give a shout out to the students that were still there. Jordan and Jasmine, wishing you good luck in the future, especially your teachers. You girls are going to be amazing. But it was really nice, and I think it's nice that we're the first ones to start doing it, aren't we? I think that is really great, and it was really nice. But like Gail was saying, better late than never. And I was late, but I got there before it was completely over with. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Turning it over to administrative reports. Dr. Michelle Lynn.
Thank you. I have one item this evening, and it is an overnight travel. We talked about bowling team earlier. There's different ways to qualify for nationals, and our boys and girls team did qualify for the national championship that takes place in June. You'll note on there it says no transportation is needed because the parents will be driving them. So the parents will also be attending the event. They would be leaving on the 16th of June and returning on the 20th.
Thank you. Josh Reed.
All right, I only have 10 tonight, so. Let's start with a recommendation to approve resolution declaring surplus property at McChesney, Windsor, Parker Center, the district, and the administration center. Questions on surplus? I have one facility request tonight, and that is at the high school for the high school musical performance in March. The next item is a recommendation to accept the March 2023 Treasurer's Report, and we went through that in more detail at Business Services. Overall, things are trending well. We have 2 more months before we hit that end of the year audit piece, so we'll go through April next month, May the following, and then December will be when the audit is presented. So,
Okay.
questions on the Treasurer's Report?
And that's with the new company, correct?
Sickich, yes, with the new auditors. My next item is a recommendation to approve an agreement with ARC Design for scope of service of high school baseball and softball field at a cost of $3,500. We talked to Business Services that we've been working on putting in a girls softball field on Alpine so that our girls can have a home location on campus. And this recommendation came from a group of community members, parents, coaches who would like to try and see if they can fundraise for field turf. And so Arc Design would be putting together some of those prelim, like layout pieces and some renderings that they can take those and see if they can fundraise for the project.
All right.
So,
Keep us in the loop with the fundraising part to make it help.
absolutely. Any questions on the Arc? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve a TSA security plan for the Harlem Transportation Department. This is a minor update. We went through that pretty thoroughly last year, and Don West does an amazing job going through, and he allowed TSA and Homeland Security to come in and run through all the operations of that department, make recommendations and tweaks to improve safety of staff and students. So they made a few additional recommendations, and so we're asking to reapprove that plan tonight.
Thank you.
Any questions on that? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve an intergovernmental agreement with the Purchasing Cooperative to facilitate cost savings for purchasing goods and services. Currently, we purchase our food through a non-for-profit called HPS. This is a split off of that of school districts that are coming together as a co-op to put out a bid for food purchasing to pool their purchasing powers together. So it's essentially what we're doing. It's not necessarily any cost savings, it's just legal compliance to make sure we're buying it from a co-op and utilizing other districts. So.
Is that part of the reason that the school district is offering the free lunch to students? Does that go along with that, or?
Nope, so this is just how we get that food to make those meals. And so this is just, like I said, to make sure we're in a co-op, we're compliant with the state and federal laws, and joining the other districts and writing what that bid looks like to get the food.
And it doesn't cost any more money.
Nope, it doesn't cost any more. So HPS, the company that we currently work with, still manages all the rebates and make sure that gets back to us. And so this is essentially what's happening. That group wanted to split this off as a co-op for the purchasing piece, so. Questions on it? All right, next is the much anticipated recommendation to approve agreement with U-Science that Kurt was reviewing. So I appreciate you going through that. This is for career exploration software at a cost of $2,000 at the middle school and $6,950 at the high school. And both those costs will be reimbursed to the district through the CNC program. Anything we missed on that, Mickey?
No.
All right, thanks for going.
Yeah, if you get a chance to look at it, the website's fantastic. There's some good YouTube videos on it if you want to get caught up on what it can do.
And on top of it, there's colleges that are using this product too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
middle, high school colleges.
Good, any questions on that? Next is a recommendation to approve agreement with Talent Assessment for the purchase of a practical assessment exploration system, or PAES lab. Includes a 2-day on-site training at a cost of $36,530.60, funded by IDEA ARP. I know Dr. Yarbrough gave you guys a little bit of information on that. I don't know if there's any questions regarding the lab.
Great opportunity. Is that another one that's just specifically for those students, or is those, because those resources are not, didn't seem like they're directly targeted that way?
It is
or-
specific for
that
students
particular
with, students with different with disabilities. We're taking we're focusing first on those students in transition,
Mhm.
so they have finished the 12th grade and they're with us until the day before their 22nd birthday, so that's the focus. But we're also looking at how we could utilize it with learning lab, life skills, and STP.
Yeah, there's just, again, another wealth of information that provides additional opportunities. I mean, the cost on this one obviously is a little bit rougher, but as you called out, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the introduction, like, to get into it, this cost, and then it's gonna be a lower rate per year.
Then it's
to
the
make-
materials that we utilize, so whatever we have to replenish, that's what we would end up purchasing.
And same thing as we have those 2 days on-site training, just make sure
Right.
we have trained the trainers. So whoever goes to that, make sure they're all in, so that the next year and going forward, they train everyone else that needs to help and assist. Helps keep the cost down.
Good.
Cool.
All right. Next, the recommendation to renew a 1-year agreement with Learn Platform from July 2023 to June 2024 at a cost of $13,205.35. This is funded out of the Harlem Tech budget. We're coming off a 3-year agreement with Learn Platform, which keeps us in compliance with SOPA, which inventories all the district's online applications, make sure that we have standard agreements regarding what data is being shared, and those are posted on the website. That law was a ton of things to go through and do, so this software has helped us. We are possibly looking at trying to bring this in-house after this year. We're gonna kind of see how that goes. So we're just recommending a 1-year extension right now.
Yeah, I'd love to see information on bringing that internal, the team that's doing it. I mean, that just seems like a great opportunity to do that. Saves 13 grand a year.
Yeah. That works out. Any questions or concerns about that? Okay. The last item tonight is a recommendation to approve resolution authorizing intervention in industrial tax appeal. Mike, these are Mike's favorite. 2022-0332-001-C-3. A property, I'm not gonna read the PIN, but for tax year 2022. So this is Schnucks. So we have a property tax attorney that works with the assessor's office, and they work with the board of review to try and come up with appropriate values or settle these by the board of review. This one was pretty far off, and so Schnucks has appealed this to PTAB, which is the state level, which takes many years to get through. But this resolution just appoints Tim Miller when he gets to PTAB that he's our representative, and they'll work with the assessor's office in defending the position and the appraisal that we have of Schnucks, so.
I actually talked to the tax assessor about this, and I mean, we're almost off by $7 million in evaluation, so we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for our district.
Wasn't it 90% or something?
It's insane.
Oh, and it's also what they're using to like and like.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And I can tell you, between our council and the assessor's office, they work really diligently to try and come up with what's a fair value and work these things through. And they did that a ton this year, but this one just wasn't close. So this is just our board saying that Tim Miller is, representing us down at PTAB whenever it gets there years from now.
Josh, is this just like the guy that's gonna go in and just fight for the money that we may possibly lose? Or is this just the resolution that this guy's actually gonna go in and fight to do this?
Yeah, so we have an appraisal with the assessor's office, so us and the assessor will kind of be on that side of it, so when it gets called, Schnucks' attorney will present their evidence and their appraisal, and we'll have ours. So back in the day, this used to be a scenario where you lose money. We have some cases with Mondelez where because PTAB took so long, and there was 3 years, and if we lost, one time Mondelez won because their reference was a condemned building that had already been torn down by the time that PTAB ruled. And PTAB ruled that their gum factory was the same valuation as the building that's been torn down. So that kind of gives you an idea of what PTAB we're working with. And in that case, they did go back that following year and essentially reduce it from our property taxes. So now the legislature has correctly gone back and fixed that law so that if that happens, it's a recapture amount on the tax bill. So school districts don't have one large taxpayer that wins an appeal many years down the road, and that significantly harms them. So it's a little bit less about that, but what Mike was saying too, comparative values too of per square foot, and just the whole system needs to be as fair as it can be. So yeah, so this is mainly just saying he's representing us and it's in our best interest to have him down there defending us. So. Thank you for the questions. Any other questions?
Nope.
Those are my items.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I would say Dr. Shelley Wagner, but I'll say Dr. Terrell Yarbrough.
Well, thank you, and I don't think any of these items are your favorite, like was said, but Mr. Stange, thank you for the invite, for this. Particularly looking forward to the Dairy House ice cream, so. Especially after the Husky Hustle on Saturday, that I'm thinking about participating.
I'm running.
But I don't know, but thank you though, thanks for the invite.
So if you're thinking about it, just bring some ice cream and you'll be there?
It's at the finish line.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I'm subbing for Dr. Wagner here a little bit, so personnel agenda and resignations. Tonight I'm bringing forward the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda with addendum. We have 8 transfers, 2 leave of absence requests, 9 employments, plus 10 employments for summer school at the high school, plus 24 employments for elementary summer school at McChesney. 3 Federation Bank requests, 21 resignations, and 2 new positions. Those new positions, the first one, and we have Dr. Erb here if you have questions about this first one. The CTE work-based learning teacher at the high school. The administration is requesting the addition of this position to teach the ISB required internship course and visit work sites to assess student progress in our CTE pathway programming. So we feel this would be important specifically with our pathway model and us moving to now our internships, correct?
Correct.
Before I go on to the next one, is there any questions with that one?
I'm curious, as a naive person, what's the Federation Bank?
The
The
Federation
laws.
Bank. That's where we, people can tap into the sick bank.
Okay.
And then the next one is salary alignment. The administration is requesting an additional $1 an hour for Jen Wagner, the food service administrative assistant. In reviewing the job duties, we feel this is appropriate with the increase in responsibilities. Josh and I have been working, with the department and kind of looking over just different the job descriptions, their duties, things of that nature, and we feel that this will be appropriate for Ms. Wagner. Correct?
Correct.
Any questions on that one? All right. That ends that report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now turning it back over to yourself.
All right. You got a couple, actually 3 FOIA requests here. One dated April 26th, submitted from the University of Kentucky, requesting student directory information, and our response dated May 3rd, denying said request. The next one is submitted by Reyes Coca-Cola. Mr. Smith, I think you like Coca-Cola. And the district response dated April 28th, denying said request as well. You do like Coca-Cola, right? Yeah. Yes. And then the final one, submitted by local labs, requesting any communications from Lurie Children's Hospital from July 2022 through current date. And that ends my report.
Was that last one supplied? Sorry, I saw the 2 denies, the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
Did not call.
That one was good.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the personal agenda and addendum?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
12B, can I get a motion and a second to approve student travel
Motion.
requests?
It's been one of those nights.
Second?
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve facility requests?
Motion.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who was the second on that motion?
I don't think we have one.
I
do
didn't
not.
hear a second.
I was, I looked at Megan, I'm like.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to action items. 13A, can I get a motion and a second to approve recommendation to change start time from 4:30 PM to 5:30 PM for all 2023-2024 business service meetings?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve resolution declaring surplus property?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. 13C, can I get a motion and a second to approve acceptance of March 2023 Treasurer's Report? Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mr. Carlson? Mrs. Carlson, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve recommendation to approve agreement with Arc Design for scope of service for the high school baseball and softball field at a cost of $3,500? Motion.
Second. Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
13E, can I get a motion and a second to approve recommendation to approve TSA security plan for Harlem Transportation Department?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve intergovernmental agreement with the purchasing cooperative to facilitate cost savings for purchasing goods and services?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
13G, can I get a motion and a second to approve an agreement with U-Science for career exploration software at a cost for the middle school of $2,000 and the high school at $6,950. Both costs will be reimbursed through the district through CNC.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson? Aye. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
13H, can I get a motion and a second to approve an agreement with Talent Assessment for the purchase of a practical assessment exploration system lab? Includes 2-day.
Sorry.
On-site training.
On site, yeah.
On-site training at a cost of $36,530.60, funded by the IDEA ARP.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
13I, can I get a motion and a second to approve renewal of a one-year agreement with Learn Platform on July 2023 to June 2024 at a cost of $13,205.35, funded by the Technology Department budget?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. 13J, can I get a motion and a second to approve resolution authorizing intervention in industrial tax appeal 2022-03-032.001C3 for property index 0829378-001 for tax year 2022?
Motion.
That was great.
That was good.
Yeah.
You did that really well.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
All right, announcements and discussion. Are there any at the moment? I'll get a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss employment of personnel, 5 ILCS 120-2C1, and student discipline, 5 ILCS 120-2C9.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Carlson? I mean, Mrs., oh, what I can't do? I'm sorry.
Not that I know. Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Right.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
All right, we are going into close. We're gonna take a 7-minute break.
2.
I'm going. All right, great. 2 more miles
I
of water.
apologize.
Okay, you guys ready? All right, I need a motion to uphold the student discipline 2022-2023-1.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson?
All right. I need a motion and a second to appoint Loves Park Principal Mike Valentine.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. McKnight?
Aye.
Mrs. Carlson? Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.